All international arrivals must take a day 2 PCR self-isolation test until they receive a negative test. All contact or suspected Omicron cases must be self-isolated regardless of their vaccination status. They will be contacted by the NHS test and trace. So literally they just have to completely come away from anybody because they believe that this variant version of COVID is so bad that you kind of just got to be on your own. Face coverings will be made compulsory in shops, and transport from next week. All hospitality settings will be exempt. 6 million booster jabs will be available in England alone over the next 3 weeks. Health secretaries have today asked this JCVI, Joint Committee on Vaccinations and Immunization, to consider rapidly extending boosters as well as reducing the gap between the second dose and the boosters too.
Yo, what's going on, people? Welcome back to another episode of Out the Box. Get me. This is gonna be the last episode of this series. Jeez, smashing it out, guys.
Milestones.
Trust me. So basically, what we're gonna do in this series, is that we're gonna look over all the other ones that we've done quickly, and we're gonna move on swiftly into something which is a bit more current affairs. Jeez. So today I've got with me.
How we doing, people? Welcome back to another episode of Out the Box. We have finally reached the end of this series. I am so gassed for this today. Shout out to the panel. I'm GMG News. How are you all doing?
Come on.
And we already know who it is. Welcome. Manlike. Welcome to In a Nutshell. Let's do this, man.
Yes.
The first sort of video that we're going to look at, just a little snippet really, is of episode 2, Freedom of Information. We talk a number of things regarding that, about obviously requests for information and how it gets something called stonewalled. All obviously different secret tools that they're trying to use to try and get our information. As we all know, information is very valuable and very powerful. So I'm sure that a snippet's going to be played just right now for you.
The UK secretly testing a controversial web snooping tool.
Did you, not to derail the thing, but did you hear about applications that have similar things in place already on popular social networks?
Something like that, yeah.
Yep.
I've heard something good along those lines.
I haven't heard the names of the social networks yet, but I have been told that there are popular social networks that have...
And search engine, and think they want to move things off search engines.
Yeah. And even websites that you use just to check your daily news.
The investigate.
So, as you see there, little snippet of the thing. If you want to see the rest of the episode, down in the link. If you're not going through the link, just jump onto YouTube, check out the playlist, check out Atchia TV, and on to the next, man.
Boom.
Okay, so the second one that we're going to touch upon today is The Price of Freedom, which is another episode within our series, which is a playlist that you can check out on Atchia TV. So The Price of Freedom, we were talking about the freedom of religion and belief. So we're going to play a snippet off you so you can hear what we were saying.
I'll just tuck it in.
Yeah.
Like that. This is me anyway. I'll just tuck it in. It just saves all commotion. You can do what you do and go back to your job. You know what I mean? But like, obviously she wanted to show and be proud of her religion, and obviously during to their policy, they were like, no, you can't do that.
But is that what it said, that she just had it outright or she had it on?
From my gathering, obviously she's had her uniform and she's had it.
It just says wearing it
around the neck. So obviously it's obviously out. It's obviously out over her uniform.
So obviously in this episode, just to recap for a second, we were talking about basically a person who was wearing a cross pendant at work, and it was apparently causing duress to other people that was around it. If you want to find out more about the conversation that we were talking about, you can obviously go and check out the full episode, which will be in the link down below. Leave a like on the video, and if you're supporting the channel, don't forget to subscribe. If you turn on post notifications, you'll always be informed when new content is uploaded.
Yeah,
Wow.
Big red button. Big red button. Notification bell.
No, I'm saying. And lastly, the first episode that we ever touched on, which I found probably the most controversial, freedom of speech, freedom of expression, should I say?
Freedom of speech and expression. Right,
Yeah.
the right itself, that's what it does state. The right and freedom of speech and expression. So,
and we were looking at Dave Chappelle, so we'll have a quick look at the clip and see what I've won, and then we'll get on it.
Someone requires you to think less of him, and I know him, and he doesn't. He doesn't punch up, he doesn't punch down, he punches lines, and he's a master at his crafts. That's what she said. And when she did that, the trans community dragged that bitch all over Twitter. For days, they was going in on her, and she was holding her own because she's funny. But 6 days after that wonderful night I described to you, my friend Daphne killed herself. She said.
So yeah, man, that episode was very touching and very emotional. A human being took a life because of basically abuse from online on Twitter, from their own community. So very, very, very good episode. So guys, man, make sure you get your eyes around it, and make sure you leave comments and likes and that, and subscribe to the channel. Jeez.
Don't know.
Right. So on to the more hard issues and more pressing situations that we're living in right now. The new variant. So we have a new
Omicron.
variant called Omicron, as B.Dot, Manlike B.Dot said. Do you guys want to drop a little something before we start getting into the paperwork and that?
So part of me obviously sees it as a new variant, which obviously not only is worrying because of its transmission and how quickly it can move, but obviously the big thing that a lot of people are worried about is the fact that it could be sort of like vaccine resistant. So it really can bypass a vaccine, which really and truly is mega worrying.
And to add to that, the fact that there's supposed to be some sort of vaccination that's already in play at this moment in time that will soon be available to people when this is a mutation that is still evolving and growing at this moment in time, I find to be very alarming.
Yeah.
Mad. Yeah, and definitely I would say it's stirring a little bit of fear within people, but at the same time, I feel that people are at a point where the government have called sheep too many times, and like, even if this strain was dangerous, I don't think people are gonna take what the government are saying as seriously as they did the first time, definitely. This is the first article that we got from the World Health Organization, classification of Omicron, SARS-CoV-2 variant. The Technical Advisory Group on SARS-CoV-2 virus evolution is an independent group of experts that periodically monitors and evaluates the evolution of SARS-CoV-2 and assesses its specific mutations and combinations of the mutations alter the behavior of the virus. The TAGVE or TAG/VE was convened on 26th of November 2001 to assess the SARS-CoV-2 variant B11529. The B11529 variant was first reported to WHO, or HWO, World Health Organization, from South Africa on the 24th of November 2021. Very recent. The epidemiological that's the one. Situation in South Africa has been characterized by 3 distinct peaks in reported cases, the latest of which was predominantly the Delta variant, in which recent weeks infections have increased steeply coinciding with the detection of B.1.529 variant, or the Omicron variant. The first confirmed Omicron variant infection was from a specimen collected in November 2021. Right.
Wow.
This variant has a large number of mutations, some of which are concerning. Primarily, evidence shows an increased risk of reinfection with this variant as compared to other VOCs. The number of cases of this variant appears to be increasing in almost all provinces in South Africa. Current SARS-CoV-2 PCR diagnostics continue to detect this variant. Several labs have indicated that one widely used PCR test, one of 3 target genes is not detected, called S-gene dropout or S-gene target failure. And this test can therefore be used as a marker for this variant, pending sequence confirmation. Using this approach, the variant has been detected at faster rates than previous surges. Infection suggested that this variant may have a growth advantage. Boom. Based on the evidence presented, indicative of the detrimental change in COVID-19 epidemiology, the TAG VE had advised WHO that this variant should be designated as a VOC, and the WHO had designated B.1.529 as VOC named Omicron. As such, countries are asked to do the following: enhance surveillance and sequencing efforts to better understand circulating SARS-CoV-2 variant, submit complete genome sequence and associated metadata to a publicly available database such as GISAID. And these guys
Let's not forget that. Let's not forget that.
Yeah,
I'm going to research that.
In fact, you know what, guys? We have to do that right now because we definitely know what that is.
Word of the day is GISAID. GISAID is a global science innovative and primary source established in 2008 that provides open access to the genomic data of the influenza virus, also known as the flu, and the coronavirus responsible for the COVID-19 pandemic. But take that with a pinch of salt because that account
It's from Wikipedia.
which can be edited by anybody. But yes.
Yeah.
All right.
I might still take a look at it though.
Yeah, obviously, guys, make sure. Obviously, one thing that we're trying to promote more so with these episodes is that you research into this yourselves. Obviously, watch the episodes yourselves. But if you want to find out more about this information, look at the websites that we've been using. These are all from credible sources, and look obviously into these keywords themselves to find out more for yourself.
Straight up.
Information is key.
Indeed. Right. So, report initial cases clusters associated with VOC infections to WHO through the IHR mechanism. Where capacity exists, and in coordination with the international community, perform field investigations and laboratory assessments to improve understandings of the potential impacts of VOCs on COVID-19, epidemiology, severity, effectiveness of public health and social measures, diagnostic measures, immune responses, antibody neuralizations, or other relevant characteristics.
Right, just before you carry on,
Yeah.
do you not think that one there is what they might base lockdowns on?
Which one?
That last one you just read out.
Oh, the whole thing. Yeah.
So they can do these sort of field investigations, laboratory assessments.
Yeah.
What are you trying to say?
Keep us all in one place. They can do what you want. Okay. So that's what it is. So for reference, WHO has working definitions for SARS-CoV-2 variant of interest, which is a VOI, and variant of concern, which is a VOC. So here's the thing, right? So they're classing this as a VOC. Yeah. Like, so what do they class Delta? What did they class? What was that? There was another one they classed. There was another name for one they classed as. Like, so what were they just of interest, and they thought they could use that? Because something tells me that this one is concerning.
Yeah.
This is only showing me that they're actually concerned about this one. They're actually worried about this variant.
That's mad.
See, here's the thing. I've said this in conversations with people. I've said this in conversations with you, Jay. I've said this in previous episodes of RFM. You know what I mean? Like, this is what I'm saying. It's going to come to a point where a variant's going to turn up and they're going to go, oh, damn, we need to worry about this one. And I think it's here.
And I think the biggest thing with this is that these things you never ever hear of until something new happens. And I mean, they don't mean anything really except for be scared, be more scared. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And it's all thing. Anyway, as you're saying, that's what them two mean. So generally, SARS-CoV-2 VOI is a SARS-CoV-2 variant, which is genetic changes that are predicted or known to affect virus characteristics such as transmissibility, disease severity, immune escape, diagnostic or therapeutic escape, and that the identified
in capital letters
that has been identified as causing significant community transmission or multiple COVID-19 clusters in multiple countries with increasing relative prevalence alongside increasing numbers of cases over time or other apparent epidemiological impacts to suggest that emerging risk to global public health. Boom. So that's just like a variant of interest. That I'm assuming that's the first COVID that we had.
Yeah. That's like, I think that's like the Delta variant and all them other variants that we got.
So this new variant is a SARS-CoV-2 VOC and a SARS-CoV-2 variant. That means the definition of that above and through comparative assessment has been demonstrated to be associated with one or more of the following changes at a degree of global public health significance. Increase in transmissibility or detrimental change in COVID-19 epidemiology, or increase in virulence or change in clinical disease presentation, or decrease in effectiveness of public health and social measures or available diagnostic vaccines and therapeutics. So that one there, predictions real quick, this is going to be used as a fear-mongering tool, and they're going to wait until they can get enough numbers of spread variant all over the world, and then they're going to bang it and say, right, you people have not been listening to us. Now, look what's happened. We're going to have to lock you down. We're going to have to add the restrictions in.
This is for your own safety. Blah, blah,
Your own
blah.
safety, yeah.
And the safety of the country.
Yeah. Question is, will it cause...
They did that last year at Christmas when they got everybody to stay inside to safety of the country.
The question is, will it cause a big separation between those who conform with the government and who don't now?
Yeah, I think it will. And I think if they were to lock the country down again just before Christmas, I don't think that they would have the same amount of people that would adhere to the rules of what they did last year do the same thing again, because they're just...
Will people be more vocal?
Yeah. I think people will be more vocal. I think people will be more will feel more chastised by this, because it's just a case of, the last... How long have we been in COVID now? When was the first official lockdown?
Nearly 2 years. Nearly 2 years, isn't it?
Right, so nearly 2 years ago, yeah. So every 3 weeks the country has been reviewed. Then there's been a meeting. Then something's come into place, and it's changed and it's changed and it's changed. And I think that people are kind of reaching the boiling point, and I think this is going to push people even more so over the edge, depending on their temperament. But yeah, I think it's gonna just reinforce more people to not have any sort of faith in their government due to the actions of the things that they're seeing.
I just think that even though I do believe you're right, and a lot more people are going to have a voice or something to say at least,
Yeah,
I do think through other variables, fear, peer pressure, promotion, tactics from the government and things like that, not just, oh, you need to do this and they've gone, okay then, they've had to coerce them, sort of thing. You're still going to have these people that are going to be like, it's safer to take the vaccine, considering they've seen enough to know that it's not that safe.
Yeah, you'll always naturally get people who want to conform. At the end of the day, there's people who love the fact that there are other people in power and control our lives because they don't want that own power in their own hands. And I get that and I understand that. But then also at the same time, how can... I don't know, I guess every single person is different, but me personally, I wouldn't have any sort of faith if someone told me something and it constantly changed, just like this variant, just like this mutation that this variant is. How can you predict something that's constantly changing? How can you adhere to rules that have flaws in all of them rules that they've put in place and they've changed? And the government have come out and even said we were wrong to do that. We should have done this, you know?
No, I fully hear you.
So the Prime Minister sets out new measures as the Omicron variant identified in the UK the 27th of November 2021. You can go and check this out as well on the UK Gov website. So the Prime Minister has today confirmed that the new temporary and precautionary measures following the emerge of the Omicron variant in the UK. This was published on the 27th of November 2021, so very...
this was last week. This was like the weekend. This was Saturday.
So all international arrivals to take a day 2 PCR test and self-isolate until they receive a negative test. Face coverings must be made compulsory in shops and public transport. I can confirm that is also in Wales as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Measures are precautionary and will be reviewed in 3 weeks. Back to what I was literally just previously saying about the whole country being reviewed 3 weeks over and over and over again. Omicron variant contains a large number of spike protein mutations, protein mutations, as well as mutations in other parts of the viral genome. Urgent work is ongoing internationally to fully understand how these mutations can change the behavior of the virus with regards to the vaccine's treatment and transmissibility. Vaccines remain to be our best line of defense. Experts remain confident that our current vaccine will provide protection against the new variant, but the extent of this continues to be investigated, so more information needs to be found. Over 16 million people have already come forward for their booster jab. We'll see a fall in hospitalizations and deaths. And adults who have not yet received their first or second dose of the vaccine, or those who are eligible for the booster, are encouraged to come forward to help protect themselves and others. The target measures will be introduced from next week as the precautions to slow down the spread of the variant or the vaccine or COVID, while we gather more information. These are all international arrivals must take a day 2 PCR self-isolation test until they receive a negative test. All contact or suspected Omicron cases must be self-isolated regardless of their vaccination status. They will be contacted by the NHS test and trace. Face coverings will be made compulsory in shops and transport from next week. All hospitality settings will be exempt. 6 million booster jabs will be available in England alone over the next 3 weeks. Health secretaries have today asked this JCVI, Joint Committee on Vaccinations and Immunization, to consider rapidly extending boosters as well as reducing the gap between the second dose and the boosters. 2 cases of Omicron variants were today identified in Essex and Nottingham, targeting testings and contact tracing is now underway. So, it's already in the country in different varied places. I know it's also in Scotland as well. It was reported to be in Glasgow. Earlier indications suggest that this variant may be more transmittable than the Delta variant, and you guys would know more so on this. That was one of the bad variants out of the ones that we've had so far.
That one of the original ones, yeah.
Current vaccines may be less effective against it. A rapid rise in infections in South Africa have been attributed to the spread of the new variant of COVID-19. So international efforts are now underway to gather as much data and information as possible about the new variant, with more detailed information expected over the next 3 weeks. It is due to South Africa's extensive surveillance system and transparency that the UK has been able to early warning of the new variant and being collecting data. So travel restrictions have already been implemented to slow the spread of the variant and protect our borders from 4 a.m. Sunday, the 28th of November, South Africa, Botswana, Lesotho, Eswana, Zimbabwe, Namibia, Mali, Mozambique, Zambia, and Angola will be added to the UK's travel red list. The vaccination program and test, trace, and isolation system continues to be the most effective way of reducing transmission, along with practicing good hygiene, keeping spaces well ventilated, and wearing a face covering in closed or crowded spaces. Anyways, the UK HSA continues to monitor the situation closely in the partnerships with the scientific and public health organizations across the world. The UK government thanks the government of South Africa for its surveillance of this variant and its transparency. So basically, they came forward and, as he said, about their variant that has been broken out over there.
So with this, the title states, COVID-19, new vaccines ready in 100 days if Omicron variant is resistant to current jabs, Pfizer said. Novak's added that it has already started creating a COVID-19 vaccine based on the known genetic sequence of B11529 and will have it ready to begin testing and manufacturing within the next few weeks. So vaccine manufacturers express confidence that they will be able to rapidly adapt their jabs if the Omicron variant spreads. The new strain, previously known as B11529, features some concerning mutations, and early evidence suggests it brings an increased risk of infection. There is also fear that the variant could be more resistant to the vaccines that now have been rolled out to billions of people around the world. If this is the case, Pfizer and BioNTech expect to be able to develop and produce a tailor-made vaccine against that variant in approximately 100 days, subject to regulatory approval. Moderna said it has advanced a comprehensive strategy to anticipate new variants of concern since early 2021, including 3 levels of response if the immunity offered by its jabs wanes. I think that's mad. Like, Novavax added it has already started creating a COVID-19 vaccine based on the known genetic sequence of B11529 and will have it ready to begin testing and manufacturing in the next few weeks. Yesterday, the World Health Organization designated that B11529 as a variant of concern, meaning it now officially has given the name Omicron a letter from the Greek alphabet.
Oh, okay.
See what I'm saying? So I said it was either Greek or Latin. The strain is the first detected in South Africa and a number of countries, including the UK, Australia, and the US, are now temporarily restricting travel to a number of European countries. Although no infections linked to the Omicron variant have been detected in the UK or the US so far, which now we know has, there has been a case in Belgium involving an unvaccinated person who travelled abroad.
Oh, gee.
Yeah, Salim Abdul Karim, one of South Africa's
They had to
top
get in that unvaccinated
epidemiologists. Yeah, man. Told Sky News he was expected to be in the UK by now. And the Health Secretary, Sally Javed, warned there is a possibility it might have a significant impact on individuals who get coronavirus. And I'm going to stop there because I think they will just go on and try and explain some stuff. Right? And if you want to check that Sky News, check that out. I do think that's crazy.
Yeah.
You got all the points from that article anyway, there wasn't too much left.
What? More vaccines, more stuff going into your body that you don't know what's going on. That's mad, man. People.
Would you
Not
trust
only
it, guys?
that.
Let us know in the comment section down below. How do you feel about it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Let
man.
us know how you feel. Let us know what you think about a lockdown that's prevalently gonna come.
Yes, of course, of course.
Yeah.
And obviously, make sure big red button notification bell for every video
Right.
that comes out. We, you know what I mean, keep you in the loop. You know what I mean, don't forget to like, share, comment, all that good stuff. You know what I mean? It's the way forward right now, man. Bear engagement, and we are people that answer back. So don't think we won't talk to you. We talk to you. Don't worry.
Also, when you subscribe, make sure that you go and check out the playlist that we already have up, which has the first official season is done of Out of the Box. So go and check for everything that we've done. You know, you can see at the start everything that we recapped over, look a bit more in depth into it. Let us know what you're thinking. We'd love to hear your opinion. You never know, something that you might talk about might be added into the next season of Out of the Box, and we might have some other things with Out of the Box coming very, very soon. So make sure that you're tuned in and you're in the loop.
In the loop. So from us, with another episode, make sure you keep your eyes open on the channel. Make sure you're liking the stuff, subscribe to the stuff, and you know we're here. We're here for you guys. You get me?
Beep, beep.
See you on season 2. See you on season 2.
See you season 2.
Bye.
Peace.